Okay, everybody, I apologize for the slight delay to the start of this session. I know some of you are filtering in from Bert Hertog's talk that he was giving on the other stage, effectively. And now we move over to Amanda Azadian, Product Manager for Digital Health Strategy with the AMA, and Laura Fritsche, who is the Program Administrator for Digital Health Strategy with the AMA. So welcome both of you to the HITLAB Summit. Thank you both for the time that you've taken to put this presentation together. And as you can see, we have a good crowd kind of filtering in from Bert's delayed keynote. And I'm going to turn the floor over to the both of you to get us started with this session.
Great. I'm going to share my slides here.
Thanks so much, Jerry. Appreciate it. And as Laura's pulling up those slides, I'll start with introductions. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Azadian, and I'm the product manager within the digital health strategy team at the AMA. And we sit within the PS2 team, which stands for Physician Satisfaction and Practice Sustainability. So we talk to a lot of physicians about how digital health is impacting their practice and ways that digital health can actually improve the interaction that they have with their patients. I believe that Jerry and the team will be sharing an infographic that describes what we'll be talking about today, which is the Physician Innovation Network. And there's a QR code on that sheet that you can use to access the Physician Innovation Network. Feel free to do that now as we're sharing more about it. Laura will take us through a demo of the platform in just a couple minutes once I get us through a couple of strategy slides just to kind of set the tone of why we built this product and what we feel we're hearing from physicians and the opportunities to help them connect with innovators like you. So you got a quick flash of the infographic. It's a 2-pager, so you can take a look at that if Jerry has the opportunity to put that in the chat. And Laura will be able to introduce herself when she jumps into the demo, but I'm calling in from New York. It's great to be here with you. We'll stick around a little bit after to answer any questions that you have in the breakout sessions. But as far as where sort of setting the scene, the AMA is really targeted at how can technology be leveraged as an asset instead of an additional burden for physicians and care teams. And we know oftentimes it's labeled as an asset always, but sometimes when there's point solutions on top of point solutions, it becomes more of a burden. And so we designed the Physician Innovation Network to help address that. Next slide. We did some research in actually 2016, which feels a very long time ago now, and really trying to drive at what are some of the key questions that physicians ask when thinking about using a digital technology in their practice. And it's these 4. We actually repeated that research in 2019, and it was the same thing. Does it work? Will I receive proper payment, and how? Will I be liable, and will it work in my practice? And there's a number of sub-questions within these kind of broad categories, but understanding the process and how it's going to implement into the EHR, how it's going to implement and impact the rest of their team is really critical. Next slide. So our work is really taking those lessons from the EHR and focusing on the AMA enterprise goal of making technology an asset, which for us means engaging and connecting critical stakeholders to improve the development, evidence base, and quality of digital health solutions. Thanks, Jerry, for sharing that file. Also to advance the adoption, optimization, and sustainability of proven digital health solutions to support transformation towards digitally enabled care. And so we set up the Physician Innovation Network. You can go to the next slide, Laura, to really enable folks to talk about the evidence that they're building, or maybe ask for physician feedback as they seek to accumulate that evidence in the development of their new solution. So really anchored within the AMA's mission to promote the art and science of medicine for the betterment of public health, the Physician Innovation Network integrates that provider voice into the development of solutions, bridging the worlds of clinical practice and innovation. And it actually started at events like this, where our Vice President Meg Barron was attending conferences and talking about this research and talking about the perspective that the AMA has with physicians. And a lot of companies were coming saying, can you connect me to those physicians? I need feedback. I have this very specific question. And a lot of those connections were happening through email. And we set up the Physician Innovation Network to build connections to remove those obstacles, center health equity, and together bring better solutions to market. So we'll go to the next slide and talk about one of the key changes that we've made on the Physician Innovation Network. We launched this about 5 years ago, so some of you might be familiar, but there's a new UX. We have a better opportunity to get data on the back end. And we've seen a lot of other folks that can provide incredibly valuable feedback to innovators along the course of the journey of that solution. It's not just about physicians and entrepreneurs at that really early stage. A lot of times it becomes the academic or faculty member, the researcher, the care team member. I'll share that during the pandemic, many of us, myself included, started wearing different hats in the innovation world. I used to run events at a healthcare accelerator, and I was a connector. So I would kind of fall into the innovation leader category here. But over the pandemic, I had an opportunity to spend time with grandparents, which was a very unique opportunity. And so I got to wear the caregiver hat. And now as an innovation leader and working for the AMA remotely, in addition to my own personal patient experiences, I'm able to also wear the hat of, at times, caregiver conversations when it comes to using things in the home. So we'd encourage you to use the QR code that Jerry dropped into the chat as we move into the demo that Laura will share with us. Feel free to bring questions to us in the breakout rooms and update your profiles if you already have one. You can go ahead and take it away, Laura.
But if you want to scan it quickly, demo, I know we're eating into the next. The next event here. If you use the QR code or you navigate to innovationmatch.ama-assn.org, or you can search on Google Physician Innovation Network, you'll be taken to this site. This is the main page. Everything Amanda mentioned, this is the value proposition. There's a little testimonial video here from physicians. Again, these are all the talking points. And I will mention, if you're a physician, the thing that sets this network apart is the AMA oversees the licensure for physicians. So all physicians that log in through this site, their medical degree is cross-checked with the AMA master file. So if you are a physician on the site and you claim, or you say you are, it's been checked with the AMA master file. So once you log in, you'll see a news feed similar to a LinkedIn or other social networking platform. This is where people can post articles they've written. They can share upcoming events in the space of healthcare innovation audience. Opportunities is essentially kind of almost a job board. It's a way for the entrepreneur community to reach out to care team members, physicians, patients, and get feedback on their solutions. You can see here, there's a speaking engagement in Milwaukee, someone seeking someone to come and sit on a panel for them. People could be asking you to trial or pilot a solution. And previously on the old platform, this was only open for physicians and respond to opportunities. Something else we've been trying to do is better incorporate health equity onto the platform. And the AMA Center for Health Equity recently launched their Principles for Equitable Innovation. And you can see here at the top, this is a link to their site. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to better incorporate equity into what you're doing, you're welcome to go to that site, read their principles, connect with advisors on their health equity advisory group that can better help you do that. So in addition to the connection piece, we also host discussions. This is where we pull in industry experts and we talk about different topics across the industry. Specific to HITLAB, I created one where if you want to join, you can network with HITLAB participants. I'm going to go ahead and add some. So feel free to navigate to discussions and introduce yourself. Feel free to network with other attendees. You can go right here on this thread, or you can start a new question. And this new feature just launched a few days ago. This is our collaborator page. We have over 25 collaborators. This is their page to kind of highlight what they're doing in the space. I'll click on Red Crow for an example. So here they can host their own discussion, they have their own newsfeed, and then they are able to share resources, whether that's PDFs, videos, links. So you're welcome to go see what they're doing here. And this is a new feature, so they're just building this out, but you will be able to see their affiliated network. So companies that have worked with them, if you're interested, for example, in a Matter and an accelerator, how did this company work with them? What was successful? What wasn't? You're welcome to reach out to them through this site. There's a messaging function, as I mentioned, so feel free to reach out to companies, physicians, entrepreneurs. And we also encourage you to invite folks to join your network. If you click on this little airplane, it'll prompt your email with a unique URL. So if someone clicks on that URL, they will automatically be connected to you on the site. And I think I'll stop it there. If we have any questions, we can take those. I know we're running over, but.
I think we'll probably take questions in the breakout groups or in the chat. So anyone feel free to reach out to us. Laura and I will put our contact information in the chat, or you can join PIN and connect with us there. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Perfect, guys. Thank you very much. I know we had a little bit of connection issue there, which is a little bit of a challenge with any virtual event and stuff. But I think everybody, got the gist of it. I see Bib Prajit Sakar here in the chat asks, how can he join the AMA? And that's a very relevant question.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to take that. So if you're talking specifically about the AMA Physician Innovation Network, the link that I put in the chat right above your comment will navigate you to be able to view a discussion that we set up for those of you who join this session, who want to continue networking after and kind of talk about the things that you learned in this session after the fact. So that once you click on that, it'll prompt you to join the site itself. It's a view only if you're not a member of the Physician Innovation Network. And as far as joining AMA as a member physician, feel free to reach out to me individually and I'd be happy to connect you with our memberships team.
Perfect, guys. Thank you very much. I know that the general networking room is open right now. So Amanda, Laura, if you have time to stop by there, and if anybody wants to ask questions offline to Amanda and Laura about the AMA or the Physician Innovation Network, please jump into the general networking room where they should be for at least a couple of minutes to answer any questions and stuff. So Amanda, Laura, thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully everyone got a good amount of information about the Physicians Innovation Network. It's such a mouthful to say, but yeah, really appreciate you coming on, sharing that information, and hopefully have you back on soon to give us a bit more detail on another event.
Thanks so much, Jerry.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody else that's on, we are going to be going on to the Innovators Showcase next. The pre-recorded chat with Dr. Levitt is going to take place a little bit later on in the middle of the breakthrough challenge. So do tune in then to catch up with that piece of programming that we're going to have to move. But other than that, we will see you at the Innovator Showcase in the next 2 minutes or so.